Today, we're talking about finding your squad. As homeschool moms, a lot of times we spend so much time making sure that our children have play dates, that they're in community, that they have people to socialize with, because we get that dreaded question of, what about socialization? Which that's not the title or the topic for today. But what I want to focus on is, what about us? What about you as a mom? What about you as a dad? Who are you socializing with? Who are you interacting with? Who's in your squad? Who's in your community to really encourage you, to support you, and to be there when you have those hard moments that will come, right? So the reason this came up is because last night I was driving by myself and I was thinking how important it is to have mom friends. I was driving to New York City to hang out with some moms. There was a mom's night out, and my husband was home. He said he would watch the kids. And I had such a fabulous time because I was just driving there. I was like, this is really important. I'm not being intentional enough about making this happen. This is like a one-off thing that doesn't happen very frequently. Because once I start to think about it, then you think about all the reasons why it can't happen. Who's going to watch the kids? The kids have to go to bed. It's in New York. You're going to drive. It's dark. You think about all the reasons why it's not going to happen versus what I did, which was when I found out about it, I'm like, yep, I'll be there. And once I commit to something, I make it happen. Where there's a will, there's a way. So I figured out how to get there, and I'm so glad that I went. But I wanted to record this because it's so important for us to have a squad, to have a community, to have a group of people who rally around us and support us, right? We make sure that our friends, not our friends, we make sure that our children have it. And I think it's equally, if not more, important for us to have that for ourselves too. So I'm not just going to say, oh, you need to have mom friends and, go find some friends. I want to be very practical about this and even start by talking about the kinds of friends that you need. So as I was thinking about it, I have two schools of thoughts. One is, don't ask people for directions to places they've never been. So that thought means you need to have people in your group who are either trailblazers, pioneers, or on the journey with you so that they understand. But in the same token, I don't think you only need to have those people. You need to have people who just support you, love you, and want to encourage you in anything you do, right? So all your friends do not have to be homeschoolers. They do not have to be on the same journey. But what I realize is homeschooling is just another thing. It's another transition or milestone in your life. So whether it's having a baby, starting a business, starting something new, homeschooling is just another one of those things. So the reason I say that is, while you may have a friend who's not homeschooling, they may have the experience of building a business. You may not have a friend who's homeschooling, but they have an experience of doing something else that's either not very um, known or standard in society, right? They may be going off the grid or doing something that's not as mainstream. That's the word I'm looking for. Or you may have a friend who is a trailblazer in one area, or who's taken a decision that's not the norm, like I said, right? So I don't think all your friends need to be on the same journey, doing the same thing on the same path, but I think it is important to have some that are, and also others who aren't. So I want to talk really quickly about the importance of having these people. Obviously, the first one is going to be emotional support. There are times in homeschooling when it is hard. And it's just, I'm just being honest, right? Like, there are times when it's going to be hard, and there are times when it's just downright hard. And it's not necessarily because of something with academics. It may not be something, even with the children, it may be you're going through something, or just a difficult period or a busy period. It may be hard for a number of reasons, and that may affect you emotionally. You want to have someone who can understand those unique challenges, or that you can share about them and allow that connection to happen because they understand your journey. Or the ones who don't understand it personally, at least they encourage you, right? They know what you're doing. They understand that even in this moment when you're saying that it's hard, you're still committed to the long-term success of what you started to do. And they just remind you of your why. And they say, I may not know what you're going through, but it's okay for you to feel the way you feel. Or it makes someone who does know and be like, oh, I know, girl. I understand. I've been there. And it may not always be, I've been there and here's what I did. It may just be, I understand. So just that listening ear. Or it may be, the other part of, here's what I did in this moment, and this is what worked, or here are a couple of options. So another importance of these support groups, or finding your squad or community, is information sharing. Like there's so many questions that are asked over and over and over in the community, whether it's starting a business, homeschooling, having a baby, raising a baby, whatever. We typically ask the same questions over and over. So in terms of information sharing and resources, it's great to have people who you can say to, hey, I'm using this curriculum and I don't think it's working for this type of personality or this type of learning style. What do you use? What do you find? What are your trials and errors? And then you can learn from them, or you can get information from them. You can have their expertise, right? They may share valuable insights that you didn't think of, or teaching strategies or recommendations. So that's very important. And again, even one benefit of having that squad is they may have children who are your kids' age or who your children enjoy playing with. And, there's friendship, there's skill development, there's bonding that happens. So it's just kind of a win-win in that area. Also, for like problem solving and networking and all those things, it's really important to have your squad. Now, what I want to talk about is what I think is more important. It's a type of people in your community. I think it's really, really important. We kind of touched on, some may be homeschoolers, some may not be, but let's kind of dive in deep. The coach in me has to get practical and share what I think are the important people or types of people to have in your community. So first, I want to talk about those experienced homeschoolers. These are the trailblazers, the veterans, the OGs, the ones who have did it, done it, moving on, right? Or the ones who are doing it, they're in the trenches with you. These are what you would call your mentors. And I think it's important to have these mentors because even if they're not in the same situation that you are, chances are they've experienced something that you've experienced, or they understand what you're going through, right? So just kind of someone with like a lived experience, again, to ask anything about how did you handle the situation, or what would you do in the situation, or have you ever experienced this, right? I think it's also important to have a diverse group of people. So whether it's someone who just started, someone who's been doing it for a while, someone who's not doing it anymore, that diversity perspective is going to be so unique and so valuable because the one who's done it, they will say something like, oh, this may seem big in the moment, but trust me, it all works itself out, or this too shall pass. Or I've heard people say the days are long, but the years are short, meaning, in that moment, it feels like it's never ending. It's just so much going on. But then you look up and 2 years has passed. You looked up and your kid is graduating. So those kind of diverse perspectives of the new person saying, oh my gosh, I have no idea where to start. And then you realize that, oh my gosh, that was me 6 months ago. That was me 2 days ago. That was me 6 years ago. I think, having those diverse perspectives really helps. Another thing that I think is important is people with specialized knowledge. So if there's something that you're going through, whether it's maybe someone who is really good at a subject or really good with dealing with difficult situations or really good at having courageous conversations, whatever that specialty is, you want to tap into that as a resource and say, hey, I know you're good at this. I know this is your strong suit or your strong skill set. What would you do in this area? Right? And then I think it's important for you to have a board of advisors, like your personal board of advisors, like a coach. So for me, what I realized in coaching is sometimes I work with women and I'm like, I really love the work that we're doing and I love what we're co-creating right here, but I don't think you really need a coach. I think you need a doer. I think you need a helper. Sometimes you don't need someone to tell you what to do. You need them to get in the trenches and do it for you or do it with you, right? So maybe I don't need a math tutor telling me how to teach my kid math. Maybe in that moment, I just need to take over and do it. Maybe in my personal life, I don't need someone to say, hey, this is how you do this for your kid. I just need you to do it in that moment, right? And I've experienced this firsthand in so many different areas, not just in homeschooling, and there's so much value to it. I remember my girlfriend came to visit me once, and she was like, I just want to come and see how the baby's doing. Is today a good day? And I'm like, every day is like so dynamic. I don't know what a good day is. Come on over. So she came and she was hanging out with the baby, but he was a little bit cranky because he had just woken up and from like a 10-minute nap. So he was still tired. And I said, hold him real quick, let me use the bathroom. And then as I was leaving, he started to get even crankier. So she's like, it's okay, mommy's coming back. So she followed me, just to kind of like allow him to see me that I'm just going this distance just from here to the bathroom. And I'm like, come in here. So she came into the bathroom and I'm like, while you're holding him and he's fine because he's seeing me, I'm just going to take a quick shower. And my girlfriend stood in the bathroom holding my, I don't know, maybe he was 4 months old at the time, holding my baby so that I can take a shower. Right? Like this sounds like something so simple, but I had to have that connection with this woman to, feel comfortable with her being in the bathroom as I took a shower, to feel comfortable with her holding my baby. So that's just something that always stuck out to me. I tell this story so many times. You're going to hear it 25 more times because I'm forever grateful. I'm so thankful that something as small as holding my baby so I can take a shower is how she showed up in that moment, right? So that's a benefit of having your mom squad. I have a girlfriend who lives in Pittsburgh, which is about 6 hours away. And for my birthday, my baby was 3 months at the time, and she said, I'm going to drive down and we're just going to hang out. And I said, okay. And once she got here, she booked me a spa appointment. And she said, I'm going to take your two older kids to do some kind of craft. And then I'm going to take the baby with me. And you're going to go get a mani-pedi or whatever you want. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. You drove 6 hours for me to get a manicure. Who does that? Your mom squad does that. That's why you need a mom squad, not for what they do, but also for what you can, share and impart into them. But I could go on and on about stories about these amazing people that God has blessed me with. Most recently, my friend came over, or boys were having a play date, and my newborn was sleeping. So we're in the basement, and I said to her, we have different body types. So I don't know if you can help me with changing my style because every couple of days or every couple of years, I feel like I change my style. One day I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this floral print. It's so amazing. And the other day, like 2 days later, I'm like, why did I buy this? I don't even like flowers, right? So she's like very thin and tall and petite. And I'm like, I don't know if you can really help me shop, but I need to at least go through my inventory and see what I have so that I can figure out how to do like the capsule wardrobe or whatever the next step is. And she's like, sure, let's go look. So I said, well, I already started my seasonal switch out. So most of my clothes are in the basement and the clothes I'm going to wear for the fall and winter are in my room. So we went to the basement and we went through all of my clothes and she was like literally in the trenches going through my stuff. And we made piles, keep, donate, um, save, like just all these different, we made, I think, 4 piles. One was the keep pile. So what I'm gonna have as a part of my wardrobe. The other one was the donation pile. One was the trash. Yeah. One was one that we're gonna throw away. And I think the fourth was like a personal giveaway. So the donate was just give to a box or a Salvation Army or something. And then the keep one was like, oh, I think this person would benefit from this. And I was just so touched that she was like, no, let's get in there. And she was like going through my clothes. People don't do that. So you have those people in the trenches. So the reason I brought up that long tangent is to say sometimes when I'm coaching a lot of professional women, they think they need me to coach them and tell them what to do. Sometimes you just need someone to do it. Maybe they need someone to design that graphic or they need someone to get into the spreadsheet and do the work. And I think it's the same thing in our personal lives and our professional lives that sometimes we just need help, right? Sometimes it's about asking for help, and other times it's about accepting help when it's being offered, and just recognizing that we need it. But all that comes with a part of having your squad. So I really think those are the main types of people that you need. And the last one that I'll touch on is a local community. And the reason I say that is because I have friends like all over the globe. Some of them, it would literally take a concerted effort to meet. It's like this whole organized thing, like what dates are you for you? Okay, let me buy my plane ticket. I'm changing time zones. There are people who live all over the place. So it's not just, hey, let's meet up in 5 minutes. A lot of times it takes real intention to make it happen. But the reason I think it's important to have a local community is because in the moments when you're having, a hard day or a situation, you might need someone who you can just call and they'll say, let's just meet at the park. Let's get some fresh air. Let's just sit out in nature and look at God's beauty, look at God's creation. And if your friend lives in Dubai, it's not so easy to do that, that meetup, right? So it's important to have that local community where you can connect with in person. Not everything is a Zoom, not everything is a phone call. Sometimes you need to see people, touch people, get a hug, and just have people in person. Another reason for the local community is even as you're sharing those thoughts and you're having someone encourage you in person, there's another level of accountability, right? So I have some friends who I just love how transparent our relationship is, where they can say to me, so you're not going to shave your legs, or so about those eyebrows, do you plan to get them done? Or it could be something like, bro, your hair, when are you going to do it? And it's not a matter of judging your friend or them judging you. It's really them saying, this is not the road that I know. You're not showing up its best version of yourself. And the reason for that, it's not about the exterior, it's not about the external, oh, my hair looks great or not. It's about what's going on. Is it a matter of something happening internally, mentally, emotionally that you're not focusing on the outward piece? Is it a matter of time? Like, I'm just so tired. I don't even care about this. I just need to get things done. Is it a matter of priority where you're doing everything for everyone else and you're not doing the things for yourself? So again, the Mom Squad is amazing in so many different areas, anything from information sharing to accountability to problem solving, friendship, resources, expertise, emotional support, all the things. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a Mom Squad, to have a group of people who rally around you, who support you, who are surrounded and they just love you, respect your journey, understand your journey, want the best for you, want to see you succeed. So here's your homework. Identify your squad. If you realize that you're missing someone in one of those areas, whether it's like the experts or your personal board of advisors or the people who will be in the trenches with you or the ones who hold you accountable, if you realize that you're missing someone, you need to identify someone who can fill that gap for you and be like, hey, I need you to be my accountability partner. Remember, I told you I wanted to lose 5 pounds? Can you hold me accountable? Whatever that is, whatever the area is, find your Mom Squad. And if you already have all these people, take a minute to celebrate them. Take a minute to share how grateful you are that God has put them in your life and really celebrate them, honor them, hold them dear to you. Because in terms of currency, my most valuable currency, it has to be my relationships. My network of people who God has put in my life, I'm just so grateful, so honored, so blessed. And I want the same for you. So get out there. If there's a mom's event happening or a mom's fellowship or even like a Bible study or something that's happening, really try to put the effort in to make it happen. All right. So I hope that was really informative, really encouraging. It provided you with the resources that you need, the accountability, and just the encouragement. And I'm praying for you as you're on this journey. And I wish you all the best. And send me a note. Let me know what you thought of it, what resonated, what sparked as I was talking, what kind of introspection was ignited, and most importantly, what you're going to do as a result of hearing this. All right. Talk to you soon.